I was worried that tenants will look down on me for being too young to be a landlord, or that people will not take me seriously. Today I'm going to share with you guys 5 things that I wish I knew prior to buying my first commercial rental real estate property. Hello there everyone, my name is Ricardo Yugas from RUCNC with a new video series on managing commercial rental real estate property. So I purchased this 4-unit building near downtown Cincinnati approximately a year ago. My wife and I moved into one of the apartments and we rented out the other 3 units. And as I was reflecting on our experience over this past year, I thought I will document it and take you on this journey as an owner-occupied landlord. Omitting a lot of the basics that you tend to hear almost everywhere, I will go ahead and share with you guys 5 things that I wish I knew prior to buying my 4-unit building. So number 1 is leverage technology. We're very fortunate to live in a time where there's cutting-edge technology in terms of software and hardware that can make your life as a landlord so much easier. I will elaborate on many of these items in a separate video, but I will keep it brief in this one. I'm talking about things like Rental Hero to manage your accounting. This web-based application has saved me so many hours that I would have otherwise spent updating spreadsheets, collecting and managing physical copies of receipts, and calculating cash flow. It is a very user-friendly application to help you keep your finances in order. Rental Hero currently offers a 30-day free trial, and if you want more information, feel free to follow the link in the description and use the promo code for a $10 credit. Another item that has saved me so much time and headaches are digital or smart locks. Nobody likes carrying around 1,000 keys for every door or dealing with replacing keys when you or one of your tenants loses one. So just having a digital or smart lock that you can program a code for each tenant is just a game changer. I use a Smart Slate encode because it is safe, I can unlock the doors from my phone, and I can have up to 100 codes programmed. When I used to rent one of my apartments as a short-term rental, I used Wellhouse for automatically adjusting prices according to demand, and SmartBnB to automate all the communications with guests. I have a laundry list of other things such as smart thermostat, water leak sensors, LawDepot.com for lease agreements, Cozy for tenant screening, and automated free rent collection. I could go on and on about all the different things that I've used, but the important takeaway is that you should research and leverage existing tools so you don't waste your time or money. Number 2 is focus on bringing value. There are several types of rent models that landlords offer, and each one works best depending on your area. But what I do is that I offer an all-included rent model, where I include fully furnished apartments, washer and dryer, a garage, and all utilities for a fixed rate. The reason I do this is to get a higher quality tenant who's also willing to pay a little extra for all of these amenities. As I mentioned before, you can also rent your units as a short-term rental and list them through Airbnb, Vrbo, HomeAway.com, TripAdvisor, etc. You will generate significantly more for hosting short-term rental. In contrary to popular belief, you don't actually have to be at a super popular location to get bookings. I can talk in a separate video how I was able to attract guests and get nearly 80% occupancy each month by hosting a Harry Potter themed apartment. It sounds crazy, but it worked. Just remember that with short-term rentals, the trade-off is that you're very actively managing them. So don't be afraid to explore different options and find what works for you and what brings the most value to you and your tenants. Number 3, perform preventive maintenance. Remember Murphy's Law, anything that can go wrong will go wrong, and it is in real estate's nature that things will break down over time. Whether we're talking about water heaters, appliances, plumbing, etc., things will need to be replaced or repaired at one point or another, and you definitely don't want to wait until all of those things pile up at once. So you can mitigate this by being proactive and create a preventive maintenance plan, where once or twice a year you can perform inspections to make sure that there's no gas or water leaks and that everything is working as intended. And anything in need of repair you can catch prior to it completely failing. So you can also state this on the lease agreement so that your tenants know what to expect and not get caught off guard. Number 4 is build relationships. I recently watched someone on YouTube who was advising people to never interact with their tenants, especially if it was the first time as landlords. And I must admit that I completely disagree with this idea. If If you have really good tenants, you want to develop a trust in relationships where they can feel comfortable telling you if there's something wrong with their unit. A simple, hey, how are you doing? How are things with your apartment? Can spark conversations where they end up sharing things with you, like the shower head is leaking, one of the windows is not closing all the way, etc. And you can fix those things prior to them becoming a much bigger problem. It also goes without saying that you want to develop trust in relationships with contractors, so that if an emergency were to occur, you have a person that you can reach out to who you know is not going to rip you off. And number 5 is believe in yourself. This might honestly be one of the hardest things to overcome. And I'll come forward and admit that just before closing on this building, I couldn't sleep one night and I kept asking myself, can I actually do this? I was sweaty, full of anxiety, and I was worried that tenants will look down on me for being too young to be a landlord, or that people will not take me seriously. I knew that I'd done my due diligence, the numbers made sense, and after reading all the inspection reports, I was confident about this building. But for some reason, I felt a little afraid to make the jump. And the only thing that pushed me was knowing that I would regret it if I didn't. I will not be able to live with myself not knowing what could have been. And although things have not been necessarily perfect, I am happy that my wife and I took the risk and we got out of our comfort zone, because we're in a much better position financially and we can focus on other things that matter a lot to us, such as giving, helping other people, saving towards retirement, and so on. Life is filled with opportunities where it is normal to experience some level of fear. And when you genuinely care about something, whether it is starting your own business or switching careers or investing in buying your first property, we will embody that decision and tend to reflect those feelings in a way that is not necessarily comfortable. However, if you've done your due diligence through hard work and a resilient attitude, you can do it as well. So that's it for today. If you currently own some piece of real estate property, I would love for you to share what kind of properties you manage, how long you've been doing this for, and any tips you will advise for people who are just starting out. For comments, questions, or topics you would like me to cover, please email me at ricardoyugas@rucinc.com. If you want to listen to my story on how I got started with real estate, check out my interview with Matt Shields at Pass the Secret Sauce podcast. And if this kind of content resonates with you, I ask that you please subscribe and hit the like button. Thank you very much. See you next time.